Welcome back to FNM Labs. This is Francis. Let's talk maths. In my childhood, I remember the idea of fractions was not only a little bit vague, but was too confusing. Later, during my interaction with children, I realized most of them do share the same feeling with the fractions, which deprive them of the joy of learning maths. In this episode of the Basic Mathematics series, I will discuss the very basic idea of fraction and different types of fractions, mainly aiming at those who are getting introduced to the world of fractions. So let's get started. In this video, we will see what exactly is the idea of fractions. How do we represent it pictorially? We will look at how to write them numerically and in words. We will get familiar with different types of fractions, and finally, we will discuss the equivalence of fractions. Suppose you have 4 packets of chocolate bars. You want to share them between you and your 3 friends equally. How will you do that? Obviously, all you 4 children will take 1 chocolate bar each. Now suppose you have 1 cake and you 4 children want to have an equal share. So what is your idea? How will you do that? Since you have only 1 cake, no doubt you will have to cut it into 4 equal pieces. Now, what is a fraction? When you cut a cake into 4 equal slices, each slice is called 1/4 of the whole cake. So by doing this way, each of you will get an equal share of a single cake. Each of you will get 1/4 of a cake. Here, each slice is known as a fraction and is represented as 1/4. So 1/4 means 1 piece when a cake is divided into 4 pieces. So if you look at the fraction 1/4, you can see 2 parts, the upper part and the lower part. The upper part is termed as numerator and the lower part is termed as denominator. The denominator indicates how many equal pieces the one whole is divided into. And the numerator part shows out of those slices how many pieces you will get. Or in other words, how many pieces you are talking about. So you will get a fraction 1/4 of the cake means you will get 1 piece of the 4 pieces formed by cutting. 1/4 indicates 1 of 4. When you write a fraction, you draw a horizontal line between the numerator and denominator. The numerator is written above this line and the denominator below the line. Now let us look at an example. Consider below figure. It is sliced in such a way that it produces 8 equal-sized pieces, numbered from 1 to 8. Some of them are colored. So what is the fraction of the colored pieces? To find that, count the colored slices. There are 3 colored slices. The total slices, including colored ones, are counted up to 8. So the fraction is 3/8. Consider another example. In the below figure, with some of the boxes colored, what is the fraction of the colored pieces? Colored slices are 2 in numbers and total slices are 10 in numbers. So the fraction is 2 divided by 10. In the example 3, represent the fraction 2/5 by shading below figure. So we can shade the 2 parts in this way. You can shade any 2 slices also. So consider another example. Represent the fraction 3/8 by shading the figure. So here also you can also shade any 3 slices as below. Now how do you read and write the fractions in words? The 3/4, we read the numerator as it is, that is 3. The denominator part we spell in the ordinal plural form. Example 4ths. So 3/4 is written in words as 3/4. For fractions with the denominator 4, we may also use another term quarters after the hyphen. So 3 by 4 may also be written as 3 quarters or 3/4. So 3/4 may also be written as 3 quarters. 1 by 5 is written in words as 1/5. 7 by 8 is written in words as 7/8. And 11 by 12 is written in words as 11/12. There are some special cases. For example, for fractions with a denominator 2, we use the term half. For example, 1 by 2 is written in words as 1/2. Now we will discuss about types of fractions. There are different types of fractions like unit fractions, like fractions, unlike fractions, and equivalent fractions. So let us consider the unit fractions. Fractions with the numerator 1 are called unit fractions. Example, 1 by 2 or 1/2, 1 by 11ths, 1 by 37ths. They are unit fractions. Next we discuss like fractions. What are like fractions? Fractions with the same denominator are called like fractions. For example, 3/13ths, 5/13ths, 12/13ths. In all these fractions, the denominator are same, which is 13. So we call them as like fractions. So 3 by 13, 5 by 13, and 12 by 13s are like fractions. Next, we discuss unlike fractions. Now, fractions with a different denominator are called unlike fractions. Examples are 3 by 7, 3 by 6, 5 by 13. In all these fractions, the denominator are different. So they are unlike fractions. And finally, we talk about equivalent fractions. Those fractions which can be simplified to the same fraction are called equivalent fractions. Consider the fraction 4 by 8. Here, the denominator 8 is divisible by the numerator 4. So by dividing by 4, the fraction becomes 1 by 2. So 1 by 2 is simplified form of 4 by 8. Hence 4 by 8 and 1 by 2 are equivalent fractions. Consider another example, the fractions 10 by 15 and 14 by 21. In the case of 10 by 15, both numerator and denominator is divisible by 5. So by dividing by 5, the fraction becomes 2 by 3. So 2 by 3 is a simplified form of 10 by 15. Now take 14 by 21. Here the both numerator and denominator is divisible by 7. So by dividing by 7, again we get 2 by 3. So simplified form of 14 by 21. Thus we see that both 10 by 15 and 14 by 21 are simplified to 2 by 3. So 10 by 15 and 14 by 21 are equivalent fractions. Now let's think about what is the meaning of equivalence of fractions. Consider two equivalent fractions, 2 by 4 and 3 by 6. What do you understand by saying they are equivalent? Let's represent these fractions as pictures. Below is a circle, and 2 by 4 means cut into 4 slices and pick 2 of them. Now consider 3 by 6. 3 by 6 means cut into 6 slices and pick 3 of them. Looking at both the pictures, we can see that the part of the circle both the fractions represent are the same. Now consider the fraction 1 by 2. This means cut into 2 and pick 1. Thus, from the colored parts of the circles, we understand that the fractions 3 by 6, 2 by 4, and 1 by 2 represent the same. Hence, they are equivalent. Or 1 by 2 is the simplest fraction form of 3 by 6 and 2 by 4. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have further doubts or comments on the topic we discussed, do write to me at fnmlabs@gmail.com. That's it for now. Till we meet for the next video, goodbye.